Hey, Coach Devin here. I am here today with Jason Ward. Jason is our on-site nutrition guru here at 360 Fit. This dude knows everything about food.
Again, not everything. I know a lot.
He does.
I have a lot of information. Nobody knows everything about food. Like, nutrition is just not a very good science right now. It's always going to be, oh, we have more questions.
It does evolve. It does evolve. He knows a lot. If you need help with your nutrition, this is the guy to go to. He knows the stuff. All right, so today we are going to talk a little bit about how we got into fitness, how we became interested in fitness. Jason, you're up.
All right. So, like it's all started back when I was about 9. My parents enrolled me in softball, which I do still play.
He does.
And,
he played like 8 games of softball in one weekend. Last summer, he's like, I played like 8 games. I'm like, who plays 8 games of softball in one weekend? But that's the guy that does it.
And I wasn't alone. I had an entire team with me.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
There's, like 10 or 12 of us on the team. So, like, lots of people are doing it.
Apparently. I'm not normal. I'm not normal.
At least 15 games that week, I think. It was a busy week. My girlfriend's told me I'm not allowed to do that again this year, so I'm going to play a little bit less, but we'll still get as much as I can.
Jason is cut off, apparently. Yeah.
That sort of just naturally led me to weight training. When I was about 13, 14 years old, I think, maybe a little younger, my dad brought home, like a set of weights. He worked for Service Master.
We're talking like the old Weider weights?
Like old York barbell weights.
Nice.
Like the
That's old
sand in the
stuff.
Inside, plastic on the outside.
Yeah, I remember those.
You don't drop those because
they break.
They break.
Yes, they break.
So like he was working for Service Master at the time. He brought them home, and I just started playing around. I had no idea what I was doing, but it sparked a passion, right?
It's funny. I have a very similar story. I played a lot of sports as a kid. I was not good at any sports. Jason's better at his sports than I am. I'm kind of okay. I've never been really a good athlete.
I would also say I'm not that good. I've been like decent at all the sports, but not really good at any one of them.
I don't even know if I'm really decent. I'm kind of like I can get by. The only thing I'm good at is I am wicked stubborn. So if you give me something to do, I'll just keep doing it until I can't do it, and then I'll probably do it some more. So I'm stupid. And when I was 13 or 14, I guess, probably 13, my parents bought an old Weider set for my brother. So we're talking like the same thing, right? The concrete weights with the plastic around them. They're all about that big. I think there was 100 pounds. And my brother was working out with it. And I was like 12 or 13 years old, and I wasn't interested. And I hit 14, and my brother was in university. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try doing that. I still remember the first time I benched 60 pounds for 10 reps, and I was like, yes, I'm the strongest person ever. I was upstairs in the hallway at my parents' house. We lived in an old house up there lifting weights all the time.
Yeah, I never had that I'm the strongest guy ever idea.
I'm mildly delusional.
There were lots of examples of people that weren't in my high school. So that's probably part of what drove me to keep lifting, to be honest. I don't like not being number one. If I am not the best, I will keep working to try to become the best.
There's the stubborn part.
That's the stubborn. I have that too. But yeah, I never got to that point because that's just not in the genetic cards for me, and that's okay.
Yeah,
I can still be good at fitness and keep being better than I was before, and that's always the goal, right? Just keep getting a little bit better at whatever it is you're choosing to do.
So what was the first gym you joined?
The first gym I actually joined.
Not in your house, but in a gym.
So my high school had a gym that I started using.
I'm dirty jealous.
And then when I went to Acadia, would probably be like the first legitimate gym that I was a part of.
I remember when I was a kid, we didn't have anything.
Yeah.
I grew up in Judic, Cape Breton, which is a very small town. We're talking a really small town. My parents own 450 acres on a dirt road. And there's no neighbors. There's no houses around, no nothing. So I worked out at home for quite a while. And then when I was in grade 12, my buddies and I, there were about 6 of us, I think, so. We all got together and we're like, you know what, we're going to buy some equipment. And there's a Judic Recreation Center in Judic. It was this big building. It basically housed lawnmowers and stuff. It was like a garage downstairs. And they built this upstairs room, which I, at the time, didn't even have any heat. So they just, and so we
Would
started.
not be good in the wintertime.
And it was like October, and we were like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put on a fundraiser, and we're gonna buy some stuff. So what we did is, I'm not even kidding, we put on our own dance. We ran 3 or 4 dances. We collected money. I think we raised like $600, $500, which back in the day, I'm talking like 1991. That's a lot of money, and it was a lot of money when you're 17. And we found some dude that was selling a whole bunch of equipment online, and it had actual like the old but Olympic weights.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we bought we got a couple bars and benches, and the benches sucked. They weren't even really wide. They were close. They had to be careful you didn't squeeze your hands.
Yeah.
There was an incline bench, a flat bench. We got some dumbbells. I think the dumbbells went up to like 60 pounds.
That's not bad for a starter, though.
It didn't have everything up to 60 pounds, but it had.
Yeah.
But they were the old metal ones. They were like we had to
the clankers.
Yeah, we had to weld some of them together. But we cleaned them all up, and then we basically there were 6 of us. We're like, all right, we have a gym. And so then we used to have to bring up like heaters up there in the wintertime because it was so you'd get in there and it'd be like minus 15 and you'd have to go in there and work out and turn on the space heaters. We used to go up at lunchtime, turn on the space heaters, go back to school because it was like a little short walk, and then we would go back up after because then it'd be warm enough to work out. Otherwise, everything froze.
Can't even grab a hold of the metal. They're all metal too.
Oh, everything was metal. Everything metal. No rubber.
The
rubber didn't exist. And we did that. We all wore gloves when we worked out. And in the summertime, there was no AC, and it was blisteringly hot. There was no happy medium at all there. But I worked out there in grade 12 all the way through university in the summers when I was home. And of course, once I went to university, the first time I went to an actual gym was in university. That's the first time I ever went, so similar to you.
Yeah, not dissimilar, that's for sure. Like there was very little equipment in my high school gym for sure. Like it's pretty good considering it's a high school.
Yeah.
But like we had I think 1 squat rack, there was the leg press, and I think we had 2 benches, one like freestanding and one for bench press.
We didn't have any we didn't have any just
and then like dumbbells up to maybe like 50 pounds, I think. Like there wasn't much. But still,
like when
for
you're in
high school, that's pretty good.
Not bad for high school, no.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it was better than my home gym where I had, I think, maybe 115 pounds total.
Yeah, I think it came
Once
out
it was all on the bar.
And it was like the bar was like that long with
the bar completely stacked all the way to the end.
Yeah,
and then I could barely lift it, but you know, you gotta start somewhere.
Yep. And of course, I had no idea. I'm sure you're the same way. I had no idea what I was doing. I used to borrow my friend Anthony Warner. That's my shout out to Anthony Warner. He had a bunch. He was really into bodybuilding.
Okay.
And he bought a bunch of equipment for his house too. Yeah. And he had a bunch of bodybuilding magazines from like the 80s. And I was like, these guys are jacked. That's what I want to look like. Like right away, that's
what
where
I'm
I went.
Do.
Obviously, that did not work out very well for me. But yeah, so I started reading those. I had no clue how to do anything. I remember Anthony teaching me how to do a whole bunch of stuff. I had no idea. I was 17, not a clue. And basically, that's all my knowledge from back in that's all I did. Even once I got to university, they had a workout program for us for football.
Right.
But it was ridiculous. It took you like 2 hours of lifting every day. And all it did was get you bigger and stronger. It didn't make you fast at all, which was not helpful for me, really. I got stronger, but then I got slower.
That's not what you want.
Not the greatest thing, no. So when did you become a trainer?
So I would have got my first personal training certification in 2006 while I was doing my Bachelor in Kinesiology at Acadia. We did Fundamentals of Personal Training or something like that was the name of the course, and as part of it we could opt to take our CSEP CPT.
Oh, nice.
So I obviously was like, yeah, let's do that. And I took on my first client shortly after I got the certification, and it was just like always the side gig right up until I moved to Halifax and started working at Good Life, where I had 5 soul-sucking years, and then I came here.
It took me
almost 3 years.
It took me like 2 years to recruit him too. It was a lot of work. I'd message him on Facebook. He'd be like, "No, I'm good." I'll be like, "Damn it!"
It's hard to walk away from a 30, 40-hour-a-week business.
It is hard.
Can I say?
It is hard. I was in university too, and I had like a part-time job. I worked at back in the the Alumni Aquatic Center at St. FX, and I used to work the desk. And I thought, you know what, I need to do something else, and I didn't want to I didn't really want to be a bouncer or something like that. I didn't know how to bartend, and I don't drink, so that was really off for me. So basically, I was like, shoot, I gotta. So I took an online course, which back in those days, online courses were not normal. I mean, they would send you material and stuff, but it wasn't really online. It was, you ordered stuff online, and I did that, and then I had put up some ads at the gym, and I got some clients, and I was like, this is great. And I remember thinking at the time, well, this is a good thing to do for now before I have a real job.
Which is what everybody says about personal training, and it drives me nuts. And there's no reason this can't be a career.
Exactly.
If you're good at it, obviously, that's part of the the whole idea as well.
You got to be good at it.
You need to be personable, and you should continue to educate yourself on what's going on in both nutrition and fitness. Or if you want to kind of like isolate and focus on one area, that's fine too. Like, just make something your specialty. That's great. Or be generalized. Right? Just
either way, you need to learn. You need to learn. It's true. I can still remember thinking, I can't do this long term. That would be silly. And here I am, and it's been like 26 years, and I'm still rocking it out because I'm not really good at anything else. That's about the only thing I've ever gotten to be good at. And I get to spend all day in the gym hanging out with friends of mine. So.
And I get to wear sweatpants every day. That's my favorite part.
I get to wear camo shorts. I like that part. And hoodies. Like, you can't really...
Like comfortable 24/7.
Yeah.
None of this normie clothes stuff. Like, keep that away from me.
Yeah, I don't like ties. They give me headaches.
No, it's probably because our necks are too thick from all the weight training that we've done, right?
That's my goal, to have too thick a neck. That's my whole goal.
I can't wear a tie, and like my neck just won't handle it.
My neck is too thick for that, baby. No, it is true. That's kind of how it's interesting how we both sort of got into it. My question is then, do you still get the question, what else do you do? I used to get that all the time. People would be like, okay, you're a trainer. What else do you do? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't do anything else. This is what I do. Yeah. It's like saying, oh, you're a doctor. Well, not a doctor, I guess, but I'm an accountant. What else do you do? I'm like, I don't know. I also account.
No, I'm like, certainly probably I'd say over the last maybe 5-10 years, that's become much less of a question.
Yeah, I think.
But definitely when I first started, we were like, when are you going to get a real job?
Yeah, my parents said that.
Really? Like, what do you mean a real job? Like, we're working 40 hours a week, like, make decent money? Like, I don't understand. Why is this not a job?
It's interesting. I think that and I think sometimes, and we'll kind of close off on this stuff, I think it's interesting how the industry has changed. You and I have both been in this for a long time. The industry has changed so much. There was a time, and it wasn't that long ago, I am not that old, I know I'm getting old, but I'm not that old, where people would look at me and say, well, why are you going to the gym? You don't play football anymore, what's the point? And that was a normal thing to ask. No one actually thought about, okay, you want to go to the gym longer. Like, it wasn't a thing. Like, you didn't go exercise. People didn't exercise back in those days. And that's not, at the beginning of your career, people would say, well, why would you work out? What's the point?
Yeah, I do remember getting questions like that, and still, like, some people definitely are like, well, why would I go to the gym? And I'm like, look, you don't have to go to the gym to be fit and healthy. Like, there are other avenues you can take for sure. But this is an easy one.
It is a little easier.
Like, once you learn the basics and you create some habits, just off to the races from there.
Yeah, it has changed so much. And the funny thing is, I feel like it's one of those things, you're almost on that wave. You're at the beginning of the wave. Back in like 2000, being a personal trainer was almost not even a possible job in some ways.
You had to be really good.
Yeah. And you didn't make a lot of money and a lot of other things that went into that, or it was a side job. And now it has turned into something where this is a legitimate career. And that hasn't, I know it is 20 years, but doesn't taken that long. It really has changed a lot. The industry is way different.
Especially with the advent of online training, it's really taking off in terms of how many people can be involved and actually make really good livings at this.
And that's something we do together. Yeah. Actually, we do that together. If you're looking for online trainers, we are happy to help you out. This guy loves programming. He does. He's better at it than I am.
I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to computers and putting pieces together and
he likes that.
Solving puzzles.
Yeah, he likes it and he's good at it, and that's why we partnered on it. It makes sense.
That's right.
Well, listen, thanks for listening, guys. If you get a chance, check out down below. We got a bunch of free PDFs if you want to come into 360 Fit or try out nutrition with this guy. I know lots of you out there are thinking, boy, I really need to get more fit and I need to eat better. This is the guy to talk to. Drop us an email, drop us a message, whatever, DM, whatever you want. Jason Moore can help you out. Have yourself an amazing day. Don't fight the awesome.